In this class, I am going to cover up total modal auxiliaries. And you know, in grammar, there are total 13 modal auxiliaries. They are must, ought to, can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, used to, need to, and dare to. Total 13 modal auxiliaries. And among these 13 modal auxiliaries, 3 are called semi-modal auxiliaries, means used to, need to, and dare to. They are called semi-modal auxiliary because they can be used both as an auxiliary verb and also as a main verb. Yes, that's why these 3, used to, need to, and dare to, can be used as a semi-modal auxiliary. Okay, now one by one I will discuss the use so that you can understand easily. First of all, I am discussing about can. First of all, can is used to express capability or ability. Okay, for example, I can do it, I can play cricket, I can read, I can write. So can is equal to amateur plus able. Means if I say I can do it is equal to I am able to do it. I have the ability to do it. I have the capability to do it. Yes, so this is the use of can for the purpose of expressing ability or capability. Then can be used for the purpose of permission or request. Means if I say, can I go there? Can I do it? Okay, so can not only used as a for the purpose of expressing ability, but also it can be used for the purpose of request or permission. Yes, yes. Now we are discussing about could. The past form of can is could, and could is used to express the past ability. Past ability means if I say, suppose every one of you has completed your metric exam, and some of you have not done well in your metric exam. So I can say you could do better in your exam. You could do better in your exam. So in past already you have completed your metric exam, and in metric exam you could do better. Yes, so this could can be used for the purpose of expressing the past ability. Means could is equal to was were plus able. Means if I say I could do it, means I was able to do it. I had the capability to do it. I had the ability to do it. Yes? Yes. Now, this could can also be used for the purpose of request or permission. Means you can say, can I go there? You can say, could I go there? According to Oxford Grammar, could is more polite than can. Yes? So you can say, can I go there? You can say also, could I go there? Both are right. And could is far better than can. Now we are going to discuss may, might. May, for the, first of all, it is used to express any kind of permission. Okay, may I go there? May I come, sir? Then I will say, yes, you may come. So may can be used for the purpose of taking permission, and also may can be used for the purpose of expressing probability. Means it may rain today, he may come to my house. So may can be used to express a kind of probability. Now we are going to discuss might. The past form of may is might. Might can be used to express probability also. Okay, it might rain today, and also you can say it may rain today. According to Oxford Grammar, might is more probability than may. Means I can say, suppose Om Prakash may come to my house. Om Prakash might come to my house. Means may come to my house means 70% sure. But if I say might come to my house, it means 90% sure. So might is far better than may. Yes, and also this might can be used for the purpose of taking permission. May I come in, sir? Might I come in, sir? Both are right. Might is more polite than may. Yes, done. Then will, would. First of all, you know, will is used after everywhere except I and we to express future tense. Means Ram will come, they will come, children will come. Yes. Secondly, will can be used after I and we to express determination or some firm certainty. Means I can say I shall come. Future tense. But if I say I will come, means I must come. To express some compulsion or some certainty, we can use will after I and we to express this. Okay. Now we are discussing another use of will. Will can be used for the purpose of request. Means I can say, please give me a glass of water. I can say, will you give me a glass of water? So will is more polite than please. Yes. So again I am repeating. I can say, please give me a glass of water. I can say, will you give me a glass of water? Will can be used for the purpose of order also. Means I can say, close the door. I can say also, will you close the door? Okay. Open the gate. I can say, will you open the gate? So, will you open the gate? Order, but with polite attitude. Yes. Now, the past form of will is would. Yes, would refers to some occasional past activity. Means I would meet you. I would play cricket. Yes, understood. And the negative form of will is won't. You know. Now we are discussing about shall and should. First of all, shall is used after I and we to express the future tense. Yes, I shall come, I shall go, I shall read. But shall can be used after everywhere except I and we to express determination. Means he will come to my house, generally part future tense. But I can say he shall come to my house. Means it is compulsory or determination. He is determined to come to my house. Yes. And should, the past form of shall is should can be used for the purpose of giving advice or any moral obligations, blah blah blah. Means you should read attentively, you should obey him, you should obey your parents. Okay. Now ought to, the main difference between ought to and should is both can be used synonymously, but ought to refers to more moral obligation than should. Means I can say you should obey your parents, but for better effect, for better moral obligation, I can say you ought to obey your parents. Yes, so both can be used synonymously, but ought to is more effectful or has a more effect than that of should. Yes. Now must means any compulsory thing or compulsion you can say. Yes. For example, you must come. Everyone must come to class regularly. Means everyone has to come regularly. You must go there. Means you have to go there. Means there is no any alternative way. You have to come. Yes. So must or have to. Understood? Then we are discussing about used to, need to and dare to. Three semi-modal auxiliary. First of all, used to. You know, used to can be used to express the habitual past activity. Means I used to play football. I used to listen to music. I used to swim in the pond. Okay, means in past, suppose if I say I used to play football, means in past I would play football, but in present I am not playing. So used to can be used to express something which you used to do in past, not in present. Yes, so I used to play marble, but in present time I am not playing marble, but in past I used to play marble. This can be the use. Yes. Second, used to can be used to express the present habitual activity or ability. For example, I am used to teaching you. I am used to speaking English. I am used to cooking rice. So used to means here amizar or be verb plus amizar here refers to some accustomed or habituation. Means I can say I am used to speaking English, I am habituated to speaking English, or I am accustomed to speaking English. Understood? So this used to can be used to express the habitual past and also the habitual present. Yes. Now we are discussing about need to. For example, I need to do it. Need to means any kind of requirement. I can say to express a main verb, I need a glass of water. And simultaneously I can say I need to get money. Yes, so that's why this is called modal auxiliary. In the same way, dare to means a kind of challenge. I dare to win. How dare you? So this can be used both as a modal auxiliary for auxiliary verb and also can be used for the purpose of main verb. Yes, how dare you? And I dare to obey you. Dare to my semi-modal auxiliary and only dare main verb. Yes, complete.